Okay, I am clicking the record button so we can do what I call the sound check. Oh, and you're eating food, okay?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's going to make the sound check difficult.
No, it's not. I can still talk.
Thou, view, thou, view, thou, view, thou, view,
Vow to view, vow, 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 vow to view, vow to view each other's movies, even though we don't always like them, but it's okay because we love each other and movies too.
2-1. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Vow to View, your Dupe Media podcast, all about marriage and the things we make each other watch. My name is Elyse Daly.
And I'm Scott Daly.
And together,
We're the Dailies. Yes, this is the weekly podcast where my wife, Elyse, and I each select a movie we like, loosely based off of a theme of our choice, and then we make each other watch it. Then we sit in front of these microphones and talk about that movie and talk about love and marriage and how those things go together.
Sometimes
like a horse
we talk about love and marriage.
carriage.
And we've made that joke too many times, too.
Well, you know what? It's our 50th episode.
It is.
And I think...
it's our golden anniversary episode.
Huh?
When we have our 50th wedding anniversary, it's the golden anniversary.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it to that.
Why not?
Well, I mean, one of us is going to die, or you're going to hate me.
It's not going to be me on either account. I'm not going to die, and I won't hate you. So what are you planning to do, Scott, from now until our 50th wedding anniversary?
Well, that's a mere 48 years from now.
A lot can happen in 48 years.
So I will be 81 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong.
You would make it farther than Luke Perry.
Ow,
is it too soon?
No bummers.
It's too
the
soon?
Room, no bummers.
I'm sorry. It's
no
too
bummers.
soon. I'm sorry.
This week we are starting a new theme.
Yeah.
It is part one of our two-part series on rock and roll. We never came up with like a good name for this thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Let's do that. For real, because they're both Elvis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That's what the theme is going to be called. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Is that okay?
Sure.
I think that's good.
Okay.
No.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you
again.
very much. I'm trying to curl my lip when I do it, and it's not really working.
It's really
Thank you. Thank you very much.
the lip curl is very important on an audio medium where
The eagle has landed.
I can't even see your lip because you've got a microphone in front of it.
Well, all you can know.
It's so ridiculous.
I tried.
This week on the show,
That's what it looks like.
we're doing. I'm trying to keep this thing moving.
Thank you. Thank you very much for keeping it moving, sir.
That is so bad. This week on the show, we are doing my selection for thank you very much, which is is a movie called Walk Hard: The Dewey Cox Story.
I just keep trying to curl my lip.
I know. And every time I look up at you, I laugh. I'm trying to do the show. This is a 2007 music biopic comedy, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, some important things happened in 2007.
It was actually just this movie.
No, I graduated.
From high school.
From high school.
I graduated
Yes.
from college.
Ah, yes, you old man. Thank you.
Technically, I didn't. I was class of 07, but I stayed an extra year to get a
What
master's.
other taglines does Elvis have other than "Thank you very much"?
That's it. Peanut. I like peanut butter and banana.
Oh, I love peanut butter and banana. Can we just talk about what a great combination peanut butter and banana is?
Sure.
And then if you put peanut
Sure.
butter and banana with chocolate or honey. I used to when I was little.
This is the show now.
We would have peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Okay. Yes, that is.
They were delicious. We'd put the jelly on them too.
I feel like you're talking about a peanut butter and banana sandwich in the context of Elvis, like a person who doesn't think anybody else in the world knows that you could put peanut butter and banana on a sandwich.
Oh no, I'm quite aware that everyone knows that you can put peanut butter and banana on a sandwich. I'm just giving credit to Elvis.
That was Elvis's
Thank
thing.
you very much.
Yeah, but the way you phrased it, we're like, so, oh my God, when we were kids, we did this thing where we took peanut butter and bananas and we put them on a sandwich.
You know why I did it?
Why?
Because Elvis did it.
You were really up on your Elvis?
Yeah, I was. Did you know I've been to Elvis's house?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Was he home?
No, Graceland. You know Graceland?
I know.
You know of Graceland?
I know of
Yeah.
Graceland. Yes.
So I touched a lamp in Elvis's house.
Oh my God.
I know you weren't supposed to touch anything, but I was like, I'm going to touch
You're
something.
such a rebel.
So I touched a lamp.
You're such a rebel.
I know.
Elvis would love it.
I know.
So yeah, we're going to talk all about Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story, which I don't think he's supposed to be an Elvis, though. I think he's more of
No, but Elvis is in the movie.
Sure, he is in the movie, but your movie is specifically about a guy who's
Who's based on
who's
Elvis.
based on
Yeah.
Elvis. Dewey Cox, I mean, is doing a lot of different musicians, but I think he's primarily, wow, I just blanked on who's the Johnny Cash.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he's kind of
Johnny
a Johnny
Cash.
Yeah.
Walk the line.
Yeah, Walk Hard.
Walk it hard.
Yeah. It's a great movie. I can't wait to talk about it, but we've got some stuff we got to do before then.
We do. Oh, I got to pull up the script, Scott. I don't know what we're doing next. What are we doing next, Scott?
You really don't know what we're doing
Oh,
next?
I know what we're doing next.
Willie,
Of course I know what we're doing next.
it is time for...
The Bachelor. And you know what? Scott honestly thought this was going to be the last time that we were going to have this segment. And I think that tomorrow we're going to have to just record maybe like a 15-minute
No,
thing,
we're
just
not.
a special
I don't
episode.
think so.
Because it'll be the actual finale.
Yeah, so I wrote the script before we sat down to watch The Bachelor, and one of the things I wrote down in the Bachelorette blurg section, I wrote the finale, and I put an exclamation point, and I was so happy.
You knew it was 2 nights.
I thought that tomorrow was the after the final rose bullshit that we don't ever watch.
Yeah, part 2.
No,
No, we
but-
always watch After the Final Rose. After the Final Rose is always the extra hour of the usual just 3 hour. So all that they're doing is they want to make it an extra hour long show.
Well, here's the point. The show
Yeah.
is not over.
The show is not over. The show must go on.
So when we last left our stalwart
Oh, yes, please set
loser,
this up.
Colton,
Yes.
he jumped a fence, which is a line they repeated 73 times during the course of this 2-hour episode.
Mm-hmm. I wish someone would jump a fence
I wish
for me.
someone would just jump a fence for me.
Scott, would you jump a fence for me?
He jumped that fence. He
Scott.
what?
Would you jump a fence for me?
Nah, I don't think so.
Why not?
I mean, I have you. Like, what? Why do I need to jump a fence? What? Set up a situation in which I need to jump a fence for you, and I'll tell you whether I do it or not.
I say, Scott, I want you to jump a fence for me.
Well, in that case, yes, I would do it.
Yes!
So he jumps the fence. He's wandering the streets of
Portugal.
well, Portugal's a country, so I was trying to
Algarve, Portugal.
Algarve.
Algarve?
That's definitely how you pronounce it.
Algarve. Thank you very much.
Elyse can't roll her R's, and it's very funny to see her try to do it.
Algarve.
Will you please try to roll your R's for me?
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. You just do it. So Colton is wandering the streets of the city. They can't find him. Nobody can find him. Nobody knows where he is. And then like 5 minutes later, they find him because literally he was just like...
I mean, 5 minutes to us, but what do we know if it was real time? I'm sure it was like maybe 10 minutes.
He was
their
a
time.
mile down a straight road, Elyse.
Yeah.
They just had to follow the road straight. For
Hang on, should we get the cars? Do we need to get in the cars?
I think we do. I think we need to
You
get
know what
going.
I want to know? Who was Chris Harrison on the phone with?
Probably one of the producers, probably their boss. Like in this kind of situation, you probably call your boss and be like, yeah.
The head of ABC?
He had like 3 phones though. He kept
I know.
like swapping out phones.
I know. There was a phone in his back pocket that you could see. There's a phone that he was talking in. And then there was another phone that
And there
was
was that
his
red
hand.
case phone. That was
I
probably
know.
one of the producers' phones.
So many different
Probably
phones.
just everyone's calling each other and handing each other off. I mean, losing your star is bad.
Yeah.
Normally in TV. I mean,
Yeah, I would think so.
Neither of us have
maybe.
ever been in TV before, but I mean,
I've been on an episode of something before.
Please
It
go on.
was not for our country.
Elyse.
Yeah.
What were you on?
I was in a Korean wrestling movie before.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I haven't told you that either.
I'm sorry, what?
I was in a Korean wrestling movie before.
Hold on. You can't just drop something like this on me.
What?
What is the
I was
situation
an
here?
extra.
When? Where?
It was
Why?
for it was something that was going on in my hometown, and it was something for like, I forget what ministry organization, but they were looking for youth people. So my church group had signed up for it because it was like something evangelical with it. And so I was in a Korean evangelical wrestling movie.
A Korean evangelical wrestling movie. What is the name of this movie?
I don't remember.
You got to find out.
I got paid.
You got to find out.
I got paid.
How much did you get paid?
I don't remember. It was probably like $30 or $50.
We've got a show to do, but as soon as we finish, your job is to find out the name of the movie. Your job is to find out.
There's no jobs this week.
At least I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding around. I need you.
I have thought about it before, and I've looked, and I can't find
email
it.
People. Email your church. Email your mom. I just anyone.
I don't even know what they did with it. Maybe they didn't even end up making it. But I know I was in a warehouse.
These questions have answers, and we need to find them out. I am not even kidding with you right now. This is the most serious thing in the world.
No, it's not. You don't sound serious.
You were an extra.
I was an extra.
In a Korean wrestling evangelical movie.
I was.
And you're like, yeah, I'm just going to bring this up, and then we're just going to move on. And I don't expect my husband to stop on this at all.
No.
That is the most ridiculous thing I ever... Elyse.
Yeah. Why are you looking at the books behind me? You're not paying attention to me.
Elyse.
Pay attention to me.
Don't change the subject on me. I need you to find this movie. Our listeners need you to find this movie.
No, they don't care. Maybe they've seen it before. Guys, have you seen an evangelical Korean wrestling movie with me in the background? I was an extra cheering. No? Okay. I had no lines.
Okay. Obviously, you had no lines. You're an extra.
But I got to eat sandwiches. They provided us food. It was great.
Okay. We have to move on, but the
I
expectation
can't believe
here...
I never told you this before. Are you sure I never told you this before?
You have never told
I think
me
I
this
might have
before.
told you this before.
I can promise you 1,000,000% that I would remember you telling me this before. So, no, you have not told me this before. This has become my life's work now. We're going to go on with the show,
Okay.
but in the back of my head the entire time, it's going to be Korean evangelical wrestling movie. Korean evangelical wrestling movie. Anyway, so The Bachelor.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about. Not taking place in Korea.
No, Portugal.
Portugal.
So yeah, he catches up and he's miserable and crying and upset because he just got dumped by a woman he loves, and of course now there's 30 cameras in his face with bright lights going like, tell me how you feel about this moment. And he's like, I'm pretty fucking sad, guys.
I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I'm done with it. So he's done.
But then he's not.
So
done.
even though he's done, they don't let him be done, which I think would be very frustrating. And I really want to know what one of the contracts says for the entire filming, you know, like what they are allowed to film.
Yeah, here's the thing with that is I don't think you can be done.
Well, yeah. So, you know, he doesn't want to be the Bachelor anymore, but then he has all the press tour and everything. So there's no way he could get out of being the Bachelor at that point, you know? So that was the whole deal.
Yeah.
And then he has to break up with the other two people.
Yeah, so that's this entire 2-hour show. The entirety of this week's show is him breaking up with the other two people. So basically, he gets dumped by this woman, and then he cries a lot.
Last week, yeah.
Yes, and then he cries a lot this week, and then we meet him in the morning, and he's basically made up his mind, and he says, "I love Cassie," is her name. "I want to get her back. I think she loves me too when she just got scared." And
Okay, but here's the deal. She broke up with him because she didn't want to get married, didn't want to start a family, and said that to him. And that's what he wants, right? That's what he said that he wants. And so now the people that love him and that are ready for those things, he says no. Because I love someone else, which, you know what? That is great. That is fine. He is entitled to that. And I'm glad that he is choosing not to just be in a relationship because he wants to just be in a relationship instead of being with the right person. I applaud him for that. Except don't go after the girl who has already said no and made it very clear that she said no and doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. And look like a fool.
Well, yeah, I mean, and Chris Harrison is trying in this moment. He's like, he basically says, he says his plan. His plan is, I love Cassie. I want to go after Cassie. I'm going to break up with these two women as a sign and to show her how committed I am. Like, I'm so committed.
She doesn't care. She didn't break up with you because you weren't committed. She broke up with you because she didn't want to be with you.
Let me finish the thing.
Just irritated.
I'm going to show her, and in his mind, he sees this as this grand romantic gesture that is going to win her over and make her realize how much she actually does love him. And Chris Harrison's like, what if she just doesn't like you? and his response to that is, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, or I think I'm a pretty good judge of what people are feeling. And it's like, nope.
And then he's like, well, what about the other two women that have clearly said that they are in love with you? No.
He breaks up with them.
And here's the deal. This is on television, so there's no way that this girl is going to have broken up with him once and then he's going to come back and then she's going to say no again. There's just no way that that's going to happen.
I don't know. I think that could happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it could happen. I mean, you've cheated, so I feel like you're spoiling the show for me.
No, I knew that he left both of the girls. I don't know what happens.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, so the rest of the show is him taking each of them aside one by one, showing up at their rooms, and then breaking their hearts. And look, we've talked about how fake I think this show is. I still think the show is pretty fake.
You did bring up a good point.
Yeah, well, like the last 2 years. So last year, he picked the one girl and then switched to the other girl, and then this year he's picking none of the girls, or there's no girls left, and it feels like
now someone has picked no girls before, but they've never gone and chased after. And I think the issue that I really have with this is they're trying to cut it to make it be, we are showing you actual real life, real footage of what's going on. No cutting, no anything. This is just the full conversation. And
when did they do that?
That's what they did last year with Becca.
Well, yeah.
There were no cuts. And that's what they were the effect that they were going for this time. With the whole, I'm going to set the camera down. There was no cutting of anything. Right?
I mean, they probably just hid them, but they definitely cut back and forth in angles between the two sides.
It was dumb. Anyways, I hope the Colton gets dumped.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for the guy because, like, look, I don't think these people are good enough actors to fake the fact that he bought into this nonsense. I think he clearly bought into it and was manipulated by the producers. So I feel bad for him. He's like right up until the moment where he this episode ends with him walking up to Cassie's door and he's ready to give his big speech. And before that, of course, they have Cassie in a one-on-one interview talking about how I am 100% sure I made the right decision. I hope, basically reaffirming everything she said. She's not having doubts. She's reaffirming every position she just had. She definitely is not interested in pursuing a relationship with him right now. They confirm that again, and then he knocks on the door. And it's just I don't know how it's going to end. I feel bad for the guy. He's bought into this nonsense and clearly is having a rough time with it. And we're just going to take advantage of that. But I feel bad for everyone. Those other two girls just got blindsided. It's one thing to get eliminated in a ceremony where you're standing up there knowing that there's a 50% chance you're going home. It's another to just be sitting in your room and have someone knock on the door. And they probably obviously they told them that Colton was coming, right? It's not really just a surprise that suddenly someone's knocking on your door. There's camera people in the room with you already.
Yeah.
So it's probably Colton's coming to see you. And then they get all excited and they do their hair and put on makeup. And that's just turns out I don't like you at all.
Well, here's the thing. I also got frustrated because Tayshia, I think, had enough of a chance. She went through everything that she could have gone through as far as the overnight date went and then whatnot. And then he broke up with her. And I feel like she got that full chance. Cassie was having the overnight date and she broke up with him and she had that full chance. Hannah, who had no overnight date and no last date of closure since her hometown, I felt was completely gypped. And I get both sides of it where he thought, well, I was just so dead set on Cassie and I just couldn't see myself with anyone else. And so I didn't even want to have the date. But then at the same time, throughout the entire season, he was always saying how much he was falling in love with Hannah, how she always reminded him of home and all this other stuff. And then he's not even going to give her the last date that they could have had together. It rubbed me really the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing is this thing that he's done has exposed the truth of the show, which is that the
unwritten rules that he was referring to.
Yeah, well, they only keep people around because they have to. And like, I feel like he knew probably weeks ago that the Cassie girl was the one he wanted, and he's got to keep other people around. But he doesn't just have to keep them around. He has to keep reassuring them because they want good TV. They want people to think that he could choose any one of these people. So he has to talk, and he did it in, I think, the most like generic, like you reminded me of home is like this. It doesn't actually mean anything. Like if you like sit down and parse that statement, what are you saying when you say you remind me of home? It's like, I'm comfortable around you.
I'm comfortable around you. I see myself fit in with you, and you fit in with my lifestyle.
Yes, but not. I mean, like, there are 30 different interpretations of that statement, and you can take a very casual interpretation of the statement, which is just, I am very comfortable around you. I feel like I'm at my house. I feel like I can relax around you. And then there's the interpretation you just said. It was like, I feel like when I'm with you, I feel like it's my life. I feel like I'm just living my life. And that's the interpretation she took. But that's not
necessarily... Well, that's
necessarily...
because that's the interpretation that I feel like he gave her with the night one rose.
The first impression rose?
Mm-hmm. I feel like he had said something like that with
They met an hour ago. That doesn't count for anything.
I think it does.
It does not.
With a relationship that moves so quickly, I think it does.
No, absolutely not. You cannot be mad at him because he liked her. He was attracted to her on first sight.
But then he continued to invest.
Because he had to. That's the whole point. He had to. He had to.
I'm done with it. I'm done with this.
Wow, you're done with this.
I'm Colton. I'm done.
All right, Elyse. Well, you know what that means.
But The Bachelorette starts filming on Thursday.
Fuck. Starts filming?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, we're going to...
Hannah B.
We're going to have the...
It's Hannah B.
We're going to have the Bachelor off-season...
Alabama.
Off-season tour.
Oh, what is it? MasterChef Junior starts this week.
No. We're going to look at different shows each week.
Game of Thrones.
We're going to look at different shows each week.
Game of Scones.
We're going to look at different shows each week.
Every season of Game of Scones.
How many times do I have to say we're going to look at different shows each week?
I don't know if I believe you. We'll watch my Korean movie.
We will do that, that's for sure. All right, Elyse.
Yes.
What's it time for?
It's time for Rosies and Thornies.
Rosies and Thornies. Every rose has its thorn.
Has its thorn.
Just like every night has its dawn.
Dawn, dawn, dawn.
Every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah. Jesus.
Rosies and the Rosies.
Are you trying to roll your eyes
again? That's a kind of one.
Rosies.
Rosies.
One more time.
Roses. 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 That was kind of one.
You're doing great, babe. Speaking of thorns.
Yes.
Tell me about your thorn.
Pay attention to me, Scott.
This is the most...
Pay attention to me.
Please tell your story.
We're in the grocery store.
We are in the
grocery
grocery
shopping.
Going grocery shopping.
Okay, so first of all, Scott went grocery shopping with me. Thank you very much. Second of all, was not paying attention to me while grocery shopping. I was doing an arabesque on the grocery cart. And I was trying to see, oh, hey, Scott, look at my arabesque. Look, let's have fun and play around in the grocery store and pretend like we're 12 when we're really not. Let's have fun and play around. And then I turn back. And you know what Scott's doing? Scott's on his phone. And I say, hey, Scott, look at my arabesque. And you don't acknowledge me at all. And I said, Scott, pay attention to me. I'm doing an arabesque. And I turn around and you're still not. And so I keep going and I do another arabesque. And I say, Scott, pay attention to me in my arabesque. Nothing. Nothing at all. I go past what we were looking for in the aisle. Still no acknowledgement. 3 people saw me, mind you. 3 people that were not you, Scott. But no, not you, because I'm doing something fun and I'm trying to make the everyday things a fun experience for you and I. And you know what? Nothing. You better go jump a fence for me. Jump a fence for me.
Hey, Elyse.
You didn't even know what an arabesque was.
What's an arabesque?
I told you what an arabesque was.
I still don't know what it is.
So when you make your legs in a 90-degree angle, 1 foot is planted on some surface.
A 90-degree angle?
Yes, 90 degrees. I stick one leg out back straight and my other leg is on the shopping cart.
So you just lifted your leg up.
In a 90-degree angle.
And you wanted attention for lifting your leg up.
Because I said, Scott, pay attention to me. Look at my arabesque.
I was doing very important things
Yeah,
on
what
the
were you
internet.
doing?
I don't remember.
I know what you were probably doing.
What?
Talking to all of you guys. You guys are keeping him from me. My attention.
The funny thing is, like, you're basically...
Stop it. Stop. No.
You're yelling into the microphone.
I know.
You're yelling.
I know. Stop it.
The funny thing is, like...
What? I bet I could go back and timestamp and I could look.
Your example of areas in which Scott is not paying sufficient attention to me is bullshit nonsense in the grocery store that doesn't matter.
Well, it's one thing if you didn't pay attention to me after I'd asked you once, but I asked you multiple times and I was like, Scott, and there's not even any acknowledgement at all because you were on your phone.
I seriously did not hear you.
Yeah, because you were on your phone. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Elyse.
Mm-hmm.
You give me a very nasty look right now.
I know.
You were doing a stupid gymnastics thing.
I was trying to make the everyday life fun.
I wanted to get to the grocery store and I wanted to get home because I did not want to be there.
Well, you know, a way to make that happen so much faster.
Watch your arabesques?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense. Just get the dog treats and let's go.
I passed the treats because I was trying to do my arabesque. So we could have shaved 20 seconds off of the time.
So what you're saying is you shouldn't do that stuff at the grocery store.
What I'm saying is you should pay attention to me when I ask you to pay attention to me.
Okay. Hooray. Are you done? You done
Yes.
with your thorn now?
Yes.
It's my thorn time.
Yes. What's your thorn time?
I'm fat.
You're not fat.
Yeah, I am. We're going to Hawaii. And we're going to do a helicopter tour.
Yes.
And I'm too big.
Just a little
Guys,
bit.
being in your 30s and being married and working 2 jobs, it's not good. It's not good for you. My metabolism, which never was very high, doesn't exist anymore. And I'm eating badly and not working out sufficiently. So I'm not a healthy person right now. And that's my thorn right now is the full realization that when it stares you right in your face when you look at a form and it says, nope, can't go. Sorry. So we're going to be working on that over the next few months.
It's the goal.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like when I met you, I was in the best shape of my life. And it all went downhill from there. And it is not your fault. I will never blame you for that. It is all my own bad choices and bad decisions. But
I made you delicious, healthy dinner tonight.
Here we are 4 years later, and things are not going well. But they will. They will.
You bought me Peloton. I shared my Peloton with you. All you gotta do is Peloton.
I know. It's not all you got to do. It's more eating than it is working out.
Yeah. No snacks at nighttime. And no Peloton. And Peloton.
Well, you have dessert after every meal.
I love dessert.
And I was never really a dessert after every meal person.
Oh, I love dessert.
And then you always pull out the dessert.
I love it.
And again, it is not your fault. I make that choice, but that's where we are. So that's my thorn. I'm not happy about it. But I'm being honest.
That's good. Honesty is the best policy, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to roses. Elyse, what's your rose?
Well, 2 years ago on Christmas.
2 years.
2 years ago.
I feel like
2 years ago on Christmas Day.
the hidden subtext of the show.
Scott said, Elyse, Merry Christmas. You can pick out 2 bookshelves, any 2 bookshelves you want. And those bookshelves, that's your Christmas present. And you know what, guys? 2 years later, Scott got me my bookshelf. And it's a beautiful bookshelf. It's wonderful. It's not the one that was at Crate and Barrel that was $1,000, but it is a very tasteful, similar replica of the bookshelf. And I love it. It was wonderful. It barely fit in the car. I had the car just the right size. I had to sit in the back seat, and Scott chauffeured me around the rest of the way home, and it was lovely. And then we put the shelf together, and then we filled it with books. And then today I realized I was looking at the bookshelf, and I was like, oh, I love my bookshelf. Except the problem with my bookshelf is it's full, and I counted, and there's only 6 of my books on the bookshelf. And the rest of the books are Scott's on my bookshelf.
I thought this was your rose. This is turning into a rant.
But I have a bookshelf, and I'm very thankful about my bookshelf.
The subtext of the show is Scott is a shitty husband. I mean, so far, like between your thorn and your rose this week, you worked in that actually you're a bad husband.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
It's not true.
I'm not paying attention to you. I promised you a bookshelf 2 years ago.
But that was it wasn't that we were actively looking for one. And then we just didn't find the one that I liked that was a price that we thought was reasonable. So I'm not blaming you.
You did kind of,
but
it kind of sounded like you were blaming me.
I was, okay. But it's both our fault.
The reason why it's mostly my books is we took all the books off the old bookshelf, which was my bookshelf, and we just put them on the new bookshelf. So it was mostly my books. That's just the way the cookie crumbled. You did it. You were the one that organized the bookshelf. Also, my books are so much prettier than yours. They're like leather bound and nice.
Not all of them.
Most
Some
of
are
them.
Paperback Stephen King.
Hold up. Hold the phone.
Blech. If you come home one day and the whole just bottom shelf of books is burned, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Don't even joke about that.
I don't know.
That's not even funny. You don't joke about it.
If Ghost chews all of those up, I don't know. What if she pees on him? That's a bummer.
I can tell you one thing.
What?
We're not making it to 50 years if that happens.
What if I just got some dog urine and just poured it all over the bottom shelf of books?
Please expand on just got some dog urine.
You know, you put a diaper on a dog, and you let it get all of the pee, and then you put on some rubber gloves, and you squeeze that pee out of the diaper. And you do that over and over until there's a nice beaker full of dog urine.
I like how we've turned the section of the show meant for you to celebrate the good things that have happened into your life into you collecting dog piss and pouring it all over my books.
The shelf is really pretty.
It is
really pretty.
It's a really good shelf.
It's a nice shelf.
My rose is that I think I'm getting a new job.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so it just kind of one of those things that just kind of falls into your lap and you weren't even looking for it, and it just happened. I've been at my company for almost 5 years now, and someone else in my company was interested in the work that I do, and they wanted me to transfer over, and it's going to be a promotion, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to kind of change. It's going to kind of change how I balance my time between this job and that job, but it's going to work out, and that means you get another bookshelf. We'll have some more money.
You get 2 bookshelves?
Well, there's no more room is the thing. No more room for bookshelves.
We could get rid of your movie shelf and turn that into a bookshelf.
Where will all the movies go?
On the bookshelf.
Well,
It'll just be a movie shelf.
Why would we already have one of those? Anyway, that is the roses and thorns for the week.
There's something wrong on your bookshelf. On your movie shelf.
What are you talking about?
I'll have to show you later. I'm staring at it right now. It does not look right. On the shelf in front of the Frozen movie, there's something sticking out there. It shouldn't be sticking out there.
I have no idea.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
We'll fix it later.
It's great. This is great audio. It's great
I know.
audio.
It is.
Elyse.
Yes.
Let's talk about
Thank you.
my
Thank
movie.
you very much.
So the movie I picked for rock and roll or rock hard
No, it's
rock.
for Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, for Thank You Very Much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story. This, as we said, is a 2007 musical comedy that's kind of satirizing the whole biopic industry. I picked this one because you've never seen this movie. I think
It's true.
not many people have seen this movie, and they need to, especially since Bohemian Rhapsody exists this year. And I think we're going to talk about that biopic too.
Oh, we will.
Well, I mean, it just seems like we have to. So here's the summary for the Dewey Cox story, Walk Hard, written by Elyse Q. Daly.
Q? What's the Q stand for?
Dewey Cox chops his brother in half. His brother's dying wish is for him to be big enough for the both of them, so that is exactly what he sets out to do. This movie has everything. It has a musician in a relationship too young that ends badly. It has one song that sets the musician on a path to fame. It has roadies and bandsmates who teach him about drugs. It has the musician's failure and ultimate turnaround. Dewey, way to show your dad that the wrong kid didn't die. It's good, Elyse.
Thanks.
So
I wanted you to read it like Stefan.
Oh.
This movie has everything.
Well.
No?
No.
Why not?
It just wouldn't have worked.
Is it Stefan?
Stefan.
Stefan. Yeah, I want you to read it like Stefan.
No. Okay, so yeah, this movie came out in 2007 to basically no fanfare. It was not financially successful. It cost $35 million, and it made $18 million. Nobody saw this movie, but I think this is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. This is John C. Reilly in a lead role that is amazing. Completely amazing.
You know, he's a really good vocalist.
He is. He sung all his songs in this movie. Mm-hmm. So what this movie is, as Elyse hinted to in her summary, is
it's a pretty good summary.
It is. It is a complete send up of the musical biopic formula.
Mm-hmm.
The entirety of the formula, which is like it always starts like in the future, and then the guy's about to go on stage, and then they think about their entire life. Which it makes a joke about that. It's like Dewey Cox has to think about his entire life before he performs.
It's true.
And then it goes through your tragic childhood. He even has. He's nose blind, so he can have like a disability that hampers him. Smell blind, sorry.
He's smell blind. And he gets it back at the end.
How did you learn how to play guitar without the sense of smell? It's all right, Mama. I just use my ears.
I play by ear.
It has him he gets married too young, and the wife like has like 6 children. It's ridiculous.
Well, she should be 13 and has... What was that? 2 kids at that time?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's part of the joke, Elyse. It's funny. It's not realistic. It's funny.
So are you saying that this is the same world where they took someone's face off?
I mean, it is possible that both Walk Hard and Face Off exist within the same cinematic universe. I did think I saw Nick Cage fighting someone in the background at one of Dewey Cox's performances.
That's who that was in the audience?
Yeah, it was. Like that guy. You could see him go face off. Anyway, that's not...
Whoa!
But, yeah, so, I mean, I love this movie is hilarious. Like, it is hilarious through every bit. And like, I like biopics. I am so sick of the music biopic formula. It is so, like Ray, the Johnny Cash one, even James Brown, Bohemian Rhapsody this year. All these movies follow the same exact formula where they do things the same exact way. And these artists are like some of the most fascinating people in the world. They live some of the most fascinating lives in the world. And to reduce their entire lives to this formula, it's shitty. And this movie came along and basically said, you can't do that anymore because we just blew your shit up. And then
they still do it.
And then they still do it.
They still
freaking Bohemian Rhapsody came along, and Bohemian Rhapsody is Walk Hard without the funny parts. They did the formula almost to the point where they're intentionally like going on to the formula, but it doesn't have a satire to it. Like there's a freaking part in Bohemian Rhapsody where freaking Mike Myers says nobody's ever going to listen to this song in their car with their heads banging, and you're just like, come the fuck on, movie. Bohemian Rhapsody is
But he did that. He did that in Wayne's World.
Thank you, Elyse. That's the joke, babe.
What?
Yeah, that's the joke. So it's just like
hey,
you
50.
50?
Gotta make it to 50. Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna get
Gotta
there.
make it to 50.
I don't know if we're gonna get there. Yeah, so I hate Bohemian Rhapsody. I really hate that movie.
I know, you didn't like it.
You didn't like it either, though.
I didn't like it either.
But
I love Queen.
I love Queen too. That's the only reason why that people love that movie is because Queen makes good
That's
music.
the like perfect example of how nostalgia can trump quality.
Don't use that word. It triggers me.
Trump.
Stop it. Elyse,
Yeah.
what'd you think of Dewey Cox?
I really liked it.
What'd
You had an off week last time, but this one, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I loved all of the music.
The music is really actually like deceptively
It's
good.
very creative, very subtle, and just wonderful. And then any movie that I can watch with you where you just laugh and giggle like how you do, it just makes it that much better. There's this one laugh that you have that when you laugh like that and you know it's like true gut, you think it's funny. That's my favorite.
I don't know what that means.
It's just great. I would try and replicate it, but I can't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and this has a ton of people in it. Like Tim Meadows is his bandmate, the one that gets him, you don't want any of this shit.
Can we talk about the wonderful accent that Paul Rudd had?
Yeah.
I mean, all of the Beatles, except for Jack Black. Jack Black's accent was horrible.
Yeah, but I almost think it's supposed to be, though.
Is it?
Yeah. Like, so yeah, I mean, like, this movie has...
And if you just really want to see what we're going to do...
You can imagine. He looks right into the camera.
Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it has Buddy Holly is in this. Elvis, Frankie Muniz plays Buddy Holly, which is hilarious. Elvis is in this. Yeah, all the Beatles are in this. It is Jack Black playing Paul McCartney. It is
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd playing
John
Lennon. Ringo Starr is played by Jason Schwartzman, and I think George Harrison is played by who's George Harrison played by?
See full cast. Let's just take a gander. Let's see. George Harrison, that's a lot of people all the way down here. And I'm just going to say that
Justin Long. Thank you. Justin.
Yeah. I knew that face.
But this also has the Temptations in it.
Yeah, like the Temptations.
Yeah, the actual Temptations, I think, are in it.
Yes.
Wait, no, are they?
No, it's the Temptations.
Oh, wow.
It has Ron Tyson, the Temptations. Terry Weeks, the Temptations. I got it pulled up. Jewel as herself. Which let's just talk about that because we wondered earlier.
What happened to Jewel?
What happened to Jewel?
What are you doing, Jewel?
Is she alive still? I feel like we would have known if she had died.
Pretty sure she's alive. Yeah,
She is?
She's definitely alive.
She not done anything lately?
I don't know. I feel like she saved all our souls, and then
Yeah, what was that one song that she was really known for? That one song. It's the big song.
I know it, but I'm watching.
Is it this Pieces of You? Is it in there? What is she most known for? No, what song is it? This is really bad, and I'm just gonna keep thinking to myself, what song is it? And it's gonna give you really bad audio, and you're not gonna be happy with it.
It's Who Will Save Your Soul?
Who Will Save Your Soul?
Yeah.
Is that song?
That was the big 1997 Jewel song. Yeah.
I feel like it's a different one.
It was released on Pieces of You. I like Jewel had a lot of not a lot, but she had a fair amount of hit songs. What does this have to do with the movie?
This movie is a jewel, and people have not seen it.
There we go.
Yes.
I would sing the Jewel song for you, but I just
Can you please? I just cannot think of the tune. Please, just a little bit.
We can insert it
Who
into
will
the
save your soul?
That is
no.
not it.
Who will save your soul when it comes to the flowers now? I need the tune. Can you please just sing it for me for just a little bit? Just to the best of your ability.
We might get flagged, but I'm going to pull it up.
Well, I've got it pulled up. I've got all of these things on.
Okay, let's fast forward.
I don't think that's this one.
Okay, we can't keep doing this.
No, it's Hands. That's the song. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. That's the song that I know Jewel for. Do you know that song, Hands?
I guess, but this is definitely the one that made her a star.
Oh, no, it's Hands. How do I know that song, Hands?
This is terrible audio. We have
But
to move on.
they're not yours. They are. Oh, I loved this song. I'm sorry. Now I found it. I'm so excited. I'm going to be listening to it nonstop.
Oh, God. Well, my song was her first one, so I think I win.
My song is the most impactful.
I don't think so.
I win.
Yeah, so
Sorry if that was bad audio.
it was
for
awful
you.
audio. Like, I'm going to have to cut all this out.
I'm sorry. I just really needed to find the song that I knew her for.
Well, maybe that's the thing you can do after the podcast is over.
My own. I'll get down to the. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay.
This is not
Not
her
to
no-
worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair.
What you doing with your accent there?
I will gather myself around my faith, for the light does the darkness most fear.
This is definitely not her most
My
well-known song.
hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They are my own.
I mean, that
But
was a
they're
popular
not
song.
yours. They are my
Okay, can we
own,
please-
and I am never broken. I'm done.
Are you?
I am.
Are you done?
The song totally came back to me, so I just had to be in the moment.
Okay. Talk to me about Walk Hard, the movie we're supposed
Oh
to
yeah,
be
so
talking
Jewel was
about.
in this movie, and it was a really funny movie.
She's in a bit part where she sings his song for 10 seconds.
Yeah, why didn't she sing Hands?
Because it's about... Just like this podcast is supposed to be, the part in the movie she's in is supposed to be about Dewey Cox, the character in the movie.
Okay.
So
Well,
why
you
don't,
know.
instead of talking about Jewel's music, you talk to me
Yeah.
about the music in this movie?
Oh yeah, it was good. It had the Walk Hard song on it. I liked the duet song. I thought that was funny. The Darling song instead of Darlene. They were all so punny.
They're so funny.
They were just so punny. I just liked them a lot. I don't know which one would be my favorite though. Yeah. I don't know. What else do you want me to say about the
I don't know. You
the
talked about
music?
Jewel's music for like 30 minutes.
Well,
thought
I
you had
just
something
grew
to
up with Jewel's music, so it was
thought you had
like
something to say about the
Jewel.
music that you just watched.
I did just watch it, and I liked it. So John C. Reilly, the first thing that I ever saw him in where he sang too was Chicago, and he was wonderful.
Yeah, he was Mr. Cellophane
in
Man.
Chicago. Yeah, he was really good, and so I feel like he's very talented, and he doesn't get a lot of credit for the things that he does, and I think that that's kind of sad.
Well, I mean, I think
know,
people are starting to like. He's done some
There's
serious.
that one movie that just came out, the Ollie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I think he got to sing in that one too. The comedians, Ollie and something, it was nominated for a Golden Globe because it came out in December.
Stan and Ollie.
Stan and Ollie.
It's about Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's probably. I think that missed the Oscar deadline, maybe.
No, well, maybe it missed the
Yeah.
Oscars,
So it might be.
but it
next
was a Golden
year's.
Globe.
Yeah, well, they have different deadlines, but yeah, I mean, he played Oliver Hardy, and he's got a lot of makeup on there, but he looks great.
Mhm.
John C. Reilly is an incredible performer. He's great.
He really is.
And he sings. Yeah, he sings all the songs here. He's doing like the thing about this is the music is like it's supposed to be going through like it does the 50s, 60s, 70s
Yeah.
type thing. That's like it's poking fun of all biopics, so it's like dipping into all these different musics, and he's great throughout all of them. Like he does a amazing Bob Dylan impression somewhere in this movie. This is like a spot on Bob Dylan. He does Johnny Cash really well. He does Elvis really well. Like the Guilty as Charged song, that is straight up Johnny Cash. I love the music in this movie. Like this is one of those movies that is like I think just criminally underseen. Like I don't understand. Like I understand why it didn't make a huge amount of money on release, because it's just like it's a weird sell. It's like it's a biopic but of a fake person. Like I
It's
think
like pop star.
Right. Pop star is exactly the same, where just no one saw it, but it's actually really, really funny. I hope that pop star has like
Over time gets a cult following.
And I think this movie kind of has, but it's still like, I just feel like still people, like I bet out of our listeners, only a handful of people have seen this movie. And it's just because people never hear of it.
And you know what, Scott, you did not choose poorly. You chose a good movie this week. This is one where I would let you put in again and watch with me in the room. So thank you. Thank you very much for picking a good movie.
Through life.
Yes.
Rocky road.
Yeah. You know why I
Walk
don't think...
far. Far. What?
So John C. Reilly, I think he's very talented musically.
Are you going to be mean about his looks? Are you going to be
I
mean
think,
to him?
well, that's the deal is like, I don't mind, but I think if you're thinking about like classic Hollywood and classic music scene, they don't pick him, which I think is sad when he's very talented, but I just don't think that they choose him for roles like that. Because,
well, he's a character actor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And I think that that's sad.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought.
But he's hilarious.
I don't think that he's not attractive or like ugly by any means.
He looks like a dude. He looks like a normal
He looks like
being.
a normal person.
Yeah.
But
I think that actually works for a musical biopic, though, because if any super famous person can get away with not having like the Hollywood look, I think it's musicians. I think musicians get away with that.
That's true.
More than it, because like
Marcus Mumford. Not a good looking dude.
I hope he's not listening. If he's just like, what the fuck, Elyse?
What?
Just calling out a Mumford.
I mean, his music moves me in ways that music is just like overwhelming.
Gross.
What?
Gross.
I'm in my car and it's like...
Oh, gross. In your car? Gross. Sorry.
I'm just going to stop. I'm just not going to go there anymore. There will be time. Everyone should listen to that song that they sang. And Wild off of their new album.
So let's wrap this thing up. I loved this movie.
I did too. It was good.
The thing about this movie, like sometimes you see movies so many times and then you go so long without seeing it that you don't realize that. I don't know if like this just happens to be in my exact sense of humor, or I saw this movie so many times when it came out that it has ingrained itself in my humor because I make jokes that are like jokes exactly from this movie. It is my sense of humor to a T. It is puns. It is telling bad jokes and then like explaining the jokes. Like
that's what you keep me around for. But then you don't like it when I explain your jokes.
Well, no, it's only funny when the person telling the jokes explains the joke. It's not funny if someone else. It's a failure if someone else explains the joke. If I tell a bad joke and then explain the joke, the whole thing is you tell an obvious joke and then you explain the joke, and that's the funny part.
But I thought you liked when I explained the jokes to people. Now they know what the jokes are because otherwise they don't know that you're funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're always looking out for me.
I am.
All right, Elyse.
Trying to get to the 50.
Tell me what your movie is next week. We talked about Walk Hard. What other thank you very much movie are we going to do?
We're going to watch Bye Bye Birdie next week. It's a musical.
It is a musical.
It is about they're trying to get a musician who has just been drafted to go to World War II to come and be on this variety show before he is shipped away to training. Based on Elvis Presley. So there you go. I've never seen this movie, of course, so this is going to be a new experience for me. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. It's basically going to be a new experience for you. Yeah, so we might have another Thoroughly Modern Millie story, is what I'm saying. And hopefully you'll have more to say about the music in this than Jewel. I've got a lot to say about Jewel. Who will save your soul? My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They are my own. They're not yours. They are my own. I really loved your Jewel impression. I am never broken. There's a music video out there where Jessica Simpson is doing a performance with Jewel of a Jewel song, and like, oh man, babe, Jessica Simpson is not doing well. She's trying to do a Jewel to the point where it's like, and you can tell like Jewel is going along with it, but she's like,
Not happy.
Is mine pretty good?
It's better than Jessica Simpson's.
Yeah, it's kind of nasally, but not so nasally that it's annoying.
All right, that is all we have time for you guys this week. If you like this podcast, you can check it and all the other shows we do over at doofmedia.com. Also, Elyse, what do they do if they want to support our show?
You can give us money.
Mm-hmm. How do they do that?
Patreon. Patreon.com/doofmedia.
Mm-hmm. How much can they give?
You can give us any amount of money that you would like.
Above $1.
Above $1. Mm-hmm. I would really like more than $1, but I understand if budgeting only requires you or allows you to give $1. I get that.
Yeah.
We're trying to save money too.
But
$1, I mean,
it's so very helpful.
Hey,
and you get
$1 a month.
Tons of rewards.
Tons.
At any level.
I mean, like, we can't even count all the rewards.
No, I mean, we definitely can count them.
We can't. I mean, it's priceless.
They're counted on the
priceless,
the website.
but really $1.
Okay.
Or more.
Thank you, Elyse.
You're welcome, Scotty.
All right, guys. We will see you next week for hopefully a less shit show of an episode. That's 2 in a row that have been a little bit of a mess.
It's spring break. Woo!
We'll see you next week for Bye Birdie.
Bye spring break.
And wait, by the time next week you'll be off spring break.
I will be. I will not be as fun. Bye, Scotty.
Who will save your soul?
If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay.
Save your soul. I don't know the rest of that
My
song.
hands are small, I know, but there. I love that song. That's my favorite Jewel song.